Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some news coming out here for you. We're going to be talking about these ICC arrest warrants that are being called for by the ICC, International Criminal Court. They're seeking arrest warrants for the Israeli government and also Hamas leaders. All right, so before we get right into that, I just want to welcome you all back here. Thank you so much for your patience. I apologize, I've been gone for nearly almost a week now. I went on vacation last week from May 15th to the 19th, got back here on Sunday, and unfortunately, on Monday morning, just yesterday, my dog passed away. I had him for 15 years, and unfortunately, he's been very sick over the last few months, and he finally passed away. So it was a very sad day yesterday. I went out and buried him. I put some posts here on YouTube with some pictures to show you with his grave and everything. It was very sad. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get back to it yesterday because this was unexpected, and he kind of just passed away out of nowhere in the morning when he wasn't doing so well over vacation. So I appreciate all of your patience and all the love and heartwarming messages coming out to me and for my dog. So thank you so much. So let's go ahead and get right into this, guys. Let's talk about these ICC arrest warrants. So while I was on vacation, I was seeing lots of talk about this, that the ICC was seeking arrest warrants for the Israeli government. Multiple top leaders I know, Israeli Prime Minister that you see here on the screen, the Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and also Herzi Halevi, I believe, the IDF top official. There's going to be arrest warrants coming for them, and maybe even multiple others, Israeli government officials, and also some top leaders of Hamas. So let's dive right into this and get more into it. So there's news coming out here that there's multiple European nations that are starting to support the bid for arrest warrants against Israel and Hamas leaders. So right now we've got France, Belgium, and Slovenia coming out and vowing support in regards to these ICC arrest warrants. So we're going to have to see how this plays out because obviously the Israeli government is not happy about this. Benjamin Netanyahu that you see here on your screen, he's definitely hoping for the U.S. to push back against this. We're going to be showing you a video here of Netanyahu's response that just came out yesterday. And then we also have President Biden talking about this as well and basically showing his support for Israel and saying that Israel's not committing acts of genocide in the Gaza Strip. So let's go ahead and get right into this on AP. It says the latest: France, Belgium, Slovenia support bid for arrest warrants of Israel and Hamas leaders. So it says here, France, Belgium, and Slovenia voice support for the world's top war crimes court and its chief prosecutor's request for arrest warrants for leaders of Israel and Hamas after Israel and the United States both harshly condemned the effort. The accusations center on war crimes and crimes against humanity in the Gaza Strip in Israel. Arrest warrants were requested for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, as well as three Hamas leaders, Yahya Sinwar, Mohammed Daif, and Ismail Haniyeh. So interesting here, they're actually not talking about the IDF chief anymore, so it's mostly just Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. So although Netanyahu and Gallant do not face imminent arrest, the announcement Monday was a symbolic blow that deepens Israel's isolation over the war in Gaza. Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz headed to France on Tuesday in response. So just regarding this real quick, when it comes to these ICC arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Gallant, we know that the U.S. is backing them, right? There was lots of talk that I did last week. I did multiple videos of the GOP senators that got together. There was like 12 senators that sent a letter over to the ICC and told them, if you attempt to seek arrest warrants for the Israeli government, we will sanction you basically until there's nothing left, and heavily sanction them to the point where they could be defunded here. And now we've got word I've been hearing from Benjamin Netanyahu that they're waiting on to see what the response is going to be from the United States, because the United States is ultimately the power here that could put the most force and pressure on the ICC and kind of push back against them to get them to halt these arrest warrants for the Israeli government. Okay, they're obviously big daddy here when it comes to that. So we're gonna have to see how the United States responds. Are they going to go ahead and sanction the ICC? What's going to happen? But obviously, these arrest warrants have not been announced officially as of yet. But the ICC is stating currently that they are going to seek these arrest warrants and move forward, trying to arrest, excuse me, the Israeli government, some of their leaders, like I said, Benjamin Netanyahu, Yoav Gallant, and then some of the top leaders of Hamas. So I also want to show you a video here of Benjamin Netanyahu, his response to these ICC arrest warrants. Maybe you've seen this, maybe you haven't. I want to go ahead and show it to you since I haven't been here. This just came out yesterday. So let's go ahead and show you this. And also I will link that article down below that we just read. I understand we only read a couple paragraphs, but I only want to talk about this subject strictly. And there's more information on there regarding this war and things like that if you want to check it out. So let's go ahead and take a look at this video.
The outrageous decision by the ICC prosecutor, Karim Khan, to seek arrest warrants against the democratically elected leaders of Israel is a moral outrage of historic proportions. It will cast an everlasting mark of shame on the international court. Israel is waging a just war against Hamas, a genocidal terrorist organization that perpetrated the worst attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Hamas massacred 1,200 Jews, raped Jewish women, burned Jewish babies, took hundreds hostage. Now, in the face of these horrors, Mr. Khan creates a twisted and false moral equivalence between the leaders of Israel and the henchmen of Hamas. This is like creating a moral equivalence after September 11th between President Bush and Osama bin Laden, or during World War II between FDR and Hitler. What a travesty of justice, what a disgrace. The prosecutor's absurd charges against me and Israel's defense minister are merely an attempt to deny Israel the basic right of self-defense. And I assure you of one thing, this attempt will utterly fail. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were totally defenseless against our enemies. Those days are over. Now the Jewish people have a state, and we have an army to defend our state. Notwithstanding the blood libels Mr. Khan has leveled, Israel will continue to wage this war in full compliance with international law. We will continue to take unprecedented measures to get innocent civilians out of harm's way and to ensure that humanitarian assistance reaches those in need in Gaza. Mr. Khan also sets a dangerous precedent that undermines every democracy's right to defend itself against terror organizations and aggressors. The ICC has no jurisdiction over Israel, and Mr. Khan's actions will not stop us from waging our just war against Hamas. But Mr. Khan's abuse of this authority will turn the ICC into nothing more than a farce. He's doing something else. He is callously pouring gasoline on the fires of anti-Semitism that are raging across the world. Through this incendiary decision, Mr. Khan takes his place among the great anti-Semites in modern times. He now stands alongside those infamous German judges who donned their robes and upheld laws that denied the Jewish people their most basic rights and enabled the Nazis to perpetrate the worst crime in history. 2 weeks ago, on Holocaust Memorial Day, I pledged this: no amount of pressure and no decision in any international forum will prevent Israel from defending itself against those who seek our destruction. To all the enemies of Israel, including their collaborators in The Hague, I renew that pledge today. Israel will wage our war against Hamas until that war is won, because never again is now.
Okay, so as we can see there, definitely Benjamin Netanyahu very upset with these ICC arrest warrants that are being sought right now from the International Criminal Court. Okay, so he's obviously talking a lot about history there, that the ICC is preventing them from defending themselves, relating a lot to the Holocaust of near World War II, where there was lots of Jews that were unfortunately murdered by the Nazis during that time period. So yeah, I mean, he's doing everything he can to prevent this from happening, and calling out to the ICC and basically stating that you know, they're they're not abiding by what Benjamin Netanyahu wants to do here. Obviously, he wants to eliminate Hamas, and they're obviously just trying to defend themselves. But at the same time, what the real problem here is that there's well over 35,000 people that have been killed and basically murdered, I guess you could say, in the Gaza Strip. That's what a lot of people believe is happening here, that this is genocide in the Gaza Strip. So something that I did want to note here too, that I've been kind of paying attention to over the last few weeks, maybe even the last month, okay, is that I don't know if any of you guys have noticed, but the death toll when it comes to the Gaza Strip hasn't really moved much in the past like month, I want to say. I want to say it's been right around 35,000 for weeks now, at least since I've been reporting this. That's something that I noticed there is right around the time that we started hearing about these ICC arrest warrants, and also obviously Biden at some point, President Biden was saying that Benjamin Netanyahu was just, they were hurting too many people, hurting too many innocent civilians, killing too many people, that they had to do whatever they could to prevent that from happening, or they wouldn't be able to go into Rafah. If you notice, we started to see that number start to stagnate, okay? It hasn't really changed much. As far as I know, every time I keep checking, it's right around 35,000, and it has been for weeks now. Now, a lot of the fighting has halted over there for the most part, but then right before I went on vacation last week, we were just starting to report that fighting was now beginning again in northern Gaza and also central Gaza. So there's got to be people that are unfortunately being killed in these attacks that are happening throughout the Gaza Strip once again. But it's just something that I wanted to note that I thought was very interesting, and I wanted to share that with you guys. But finally, I want to show you one last clip here. It's 39 seconds of President Biden, and he's basically reaffirming his support for Israel, and also putting his foot down for them and saying, hey, they're not committing genocide in the Gaza Strip. So I guess in a way, somewhat of a complete 180 from the Biden administration now, because they were just saying recently that they were harming too many innocent civilians. Now they're saying everything's completely fine. So go ahead and take a look.
Let me be clear. We reject the ICC's application for arrest warrants against Israeli leaders. Whatever these warrants may imply, there is no equivalence between Israel and Hamas. And it's clear Israel wants to do all it can to ensure civilian protection. But let me be clear. Contrary to allegations against Israel made by the International Court of Justice, what's happening is not genocide. We reject that. We're going to always stand with Israel and the threats against its security.
Okay, so obviously, again, like I said, standing up for Israel and stating that they are not committing acts of genocide in the Gaza Strip. But again, like I said last week or so, I reported that there was several senators, I believe it was 12 senators, GOP senators that is, that got together, sent a letter over to the ICC and let them know, hey, do not move forward with these arrest warrants for the Israeli government, or we will sanction you. Okay, and a lot of that, at least I believe, is to prevent any arrest warrants to come to the United States as well, because that could open the door here, definitely, that if the ICC is able to issue arrest warrants for the Israeli government along with Hamas leaders, this could definitely open the door to arrest warrants for maybe European nations, maybe United States top officials, senators, anybody that was involved in these acts of terror that are happening inside the Gaza Strip. Okay, at least what's being reported here. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to share this information with you and give you an update regarding the ICC arrest warrants. We've been talking about this for a little while now, for several weeks, and it looks like it's starting to pick up some steam here now. We're going to see where this goes. We'll see how the United States responds to this. Do they plan to issue these sanctions against the ICC? What's going to happen here? Most likely, I'm thinking that's what will come next, but I don't think that these arrest warrants will come anytime soon. I could be completely wrong, but I think it's going to take some time for this to happen. Right now, they're just seeking and attempting to retrieve these arrest warrants. So let's see what happens. And things are obviously still heating up here down in the Gaza Strip, and we are still waiting to see if they're going to launch a full-fledged invasion of Rafah here pretty soon. I've also heard, quick update on that it looks like there may have been like upwards of 900,000. I could be a little bit off on that number, but it's close to like 1 million people that have already left the Rafah area. So this thing could definitely be beginning here in the next couple weeks when it comes to this invasion of Rafah from the IDF. So yeah, that's going to be it for this update, though. If you got something out of this update, please smash that like button. And also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.